Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to be doing an update of Washington Dulles International Airport. Now this is quite an exciting update because this comes out on the Friday, and the Monday following this Friday I will literally be heading to Washington Dulles. So I'm literally pumped for, you know, going there, seeing the sights again, you know, going back to Washington DC. Of course my family lives over there, so that's why I'm always going over to Washington DC. And this update in particular, however, this is actually a morning update, so we have a lot of the kind of like African and some Asian flights in, as well as a lot of the kind of domestic flights that have overnighted. They're now heading out. I have actually made one change to the update as well. I've actually taken out what was being used as Terminal Z, so that is the terminal that has Frontier and Air Canada in. I've actually taken that out, and because that was originally put in the place of the cargo gates, and as you've seen my unboxings lately, I have had quite a few new cargo aircraft, so I have all of the cargo gates filled up, and yeah, I've just kind of put in the cargo aircraft instead of having these Frontier and Air Canada flights. And as I said, I am going to Washington Dulles on Monday, so I'm super pumped for that, as I said. And also I will give you the flight information at the end of this video for my flights going to America. Of course I won't give you all of them yet because there are a lot of them. I've actually made a podcast on my second channel. Now I haven't actually announced my second channel on my main channel yet, so this is kind of like the first announcement I'm making, but I made a second channel just for kind of like podcasts and that kind of style of video. So I did actually put my first podcast on there that is about my flight information while I'm in America. So if you do want to track my flights or even film my flights, that would be amazing, like landing or taking off or something, that would be amazing. I'll give anybody who does that a shout out. I'll put it in my trip reports. That's another thing, of course, trip reports, they're going to be a big thing over the summer. I can't promise they're going to be out quite quickly and regularly because I'm trying to take my time with my trip reports, because I'm kind of going through a new kind of style, as I'm sure you're aware, and being in America with family, it's going to be very hard to find a space where I can kind of just settle down and find a quiet place to record. Of course I love being with family, but when it comes to video creation, it's not the best atmosphere. Of course I have pre-recorded all of my updates, so you're going to get an update every Friday, and then I'm going to try and upload trip reports and other videos to do with America in between. But yeah, I'm just, oh man, I'm so excited to go back to America. Just Dulles in general, the whole Dulles area, not just Dulles, the places around Dulles. Chick-fil-A, I can't wait to get my lips around another Chick-fil-A sandwich. And yeah, it's just the little things in life, man, you know, like going to Dulles and smelling the soap that smells like Bakewell tarts, because I cannot, it's so weird, the soap, I don't even think Bakewell tarts are a thing in America, but yet Dulles' soap smells just like Bakewell tarts. It's just incredible. But anyway, enough of blabbing. I think I might just get on with the update now. So as I said, this is a morning update, so we have a lot of like Asian and different flights like that. I do have a few new models as well. You've seen some of them, but a few you haven't. But yeah, we got a brand new airline to Dulles as well that I've got on this update. We do have another airline that's arrived to Dulles that I don't have on this update because they arrive in the evening, and that is TAP Portugal. So at the moment they're operating their A330-200s. I do have an A330-200, but as they get more A330neos, they are going to start flying the Neo to Dulles. So that is going to be the first A330neo service we get to Dulles. I've also heard that Virgin Atlantic are going to start replacing their A330-300s with Neos. So of course Virgin Atlantic are flying the 300 to Dulles, so maybe eventually we'll get to see the Neo from Virgin Atlantic here at Dulles. Anyway, enough of that. In front of you here in the hangar we have a United 737 MAX 9. Of course they are still grounded. He's just in the hangar getting some I wouldn't say maintenance, he's getting some checks done, some different bits like that. Just, I don't know, he's just in the hangar just trying to sort that out. And I think the Maxes are going to be flying around September time, so we do have another couple of months before they're back in the air. But yeah, I can't wait for them to be back in the air, because I am possibly flying on one next year, so yeah, I can't wait for that. And yeah, as I said, this is just in the hangar getting some maintenance done. And next here we have a United 787-10. Now, even though the 787-10 is flying for United, they don't really come much to Dulles. They're more based, I think, in Newark and I think San Francisco. I'm going to say this is kind of like a special route down from Newark. He flew down from Newark for some crew familiarization training, and he's just going to be parked here while the crew kind of, you know, gets used to this aircraft, and then he's going to be flying back up to Newark later on today. Moving on to the cargo aircraft now, we have the UPS 767-300. He's ready for a flight out to Louisville. Next here we have our first new model. This is the FedEx Express 767-300 without winglets. Now, one of the troubles with having the cargo gates this way round is you can't actually see the busy side of the aircraft. So of course, the other side of the aircraft is where the cargo is loaded and the pilots get on board and all that kind of stuff. So I do actually have a cargo loader behind there, believe it or not, but he's going to get some cargo on board, and then he's going to be heading out to Memphis. And finally, for the cargo gates, we have this amazing model. This is the FedEx Express 757-200. He's just getting some fuel on board, and then he's going to be heading out to Harrisburg later on. But yeah, this is an amazing model. It's probably one of my favorites. This is by NG Models. NG Models are now my favorite 1-400 company. If you haven't got an NG Models aircraft yet, I would very highly recommend doing so. This is from their new releases, and it is just an amazing model. Honestly, I'm thinking about getting a second one. I might try and get the Gemini Jets one just because A, I can compare them to each other, and then B, also it'd be cool to get a different registration. But yeah, as you know, as I've said plenty of times, FedEx is the primary cargo user at Dulles, so I do need to still get some more FedEx aircraft. I want to get another 767, another 757, I want to get a 777, and of course I want to get a couple ATR aircraft, and then I'll kind of be set after that. Now next here, this is one of my other new models. This is the Cessna 172 by Herpa. I believe this is in 1:500 scale, so it's a little bit smaller than it would be in 1:400 scale. But it kind of works. I actually got these off of Mark Harrington, so if you haven't subscribed to him, definitely go check him out at least. He does airport updates just like me. And yeah, this actually comes in a pack of 3, so you get this plane and then 2 other aircraft, one of which is also on this update, but I'll get to him when I get to him. This Cessna 172 is going to be heading out to Gaithersburg Air Park. It's a little airport around kind of Maryland. It's in Maryland, it's just up a bit. It's a very short flight, but you know, I thought 172, what's it gonna do? Gaithersburg, I think. So yeah, I do want somebody like Gemini Jets or a company in 1:400 scale to start kind of manufacturing these kind of things. I mean, Herpa have done it. Herpa are the master of, you know, the little things like GSE and little planes like this, and little details that, you know, Gemini Jets just doesn't think of. But yeah, I'd love for a company to release these in 1:400 scale. I would get a ton, because Dulles does have quite a large area for kind of like private aviation GA aircraft. So yeah, I'd want to get this and a few like kind of like Learjets, Gulfstreams, Citations, all of that kind of stuff. Next here we have one of the new airlines to Dulles. This is the Egypt Air 787-9. He's just taking off out to Cairo. Now we get Egypt Air now 3 weekly, so we get 1 flight on Tuesday, 1 flight on Thursday, and 1 flight on Friday on their brand new 787-9. They have 2 of these at the moment, and it is a privilege to have Dulles as one of the destinations for the 787. Of course, they're going to get more, and probably by the time you're seeing this, there might be a 3rd one, or even a 4th one. But yeah, I just can't wait to use this in more of my Dulles updates, as well as my TAP. I do want to get another update out with that, but my next update is going to be a night update, so maybe the update following that I'll do like an early evening kind of update where I can include the TAP. I'll see if Gemini Jets has released like a Neo by then, but I'm just not sure. Just arrived in now. We have one of United's only international flights from Europe that arrives in the morning. This is the United 757-200 from London Heathrow. This is one of 3 daily flights they have to London Heathrow. We get the 757 in the morning, and then I just got to remember, is it the 787 in... I think it's the 787 early evening and then the 777 kind of later kind of evening. I think that's how it goes, but you know, I don't know. Actually, the 787, that's afternoon. Yeah, I'm thinking about departures now. So 787 comes about 2-ish, 3-ish, along with the BA and Virgin Atlantic. And then we get the 777 kind of like late night, where the second BA flight comes in, all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's just arrived in from London Heathrow. He's going to turn around and head back out to San Francisco. Next here we have another new model. This came with the Cessna 172, but I'm using this as a Cessna Citation Latitude, and he is operating for NetJet for a flight out to Sarasota. So yeah, I do want to again get a lot of like these kind of planes, even though they're not widely available. I would love Gemini Jets or a company to release these. These are little plastic things, so I would like to get a little, you know, kind of like die-cast little jet. And again, these are a little bit smaller, so you could bump up the size a bit. Even a Gulfstream or something like that, they're quite sizable. And you've done Q200s, so you know there's no excuse for not having a you know, a little like Gulfstream or something like that. But yeah, as I said, this is going to be heading out to Sarasota. Next here, just waiting for the Egypt Air 787 to take off, we have this United 767-300. He's going to be heading out to Honolulu. Now I know this flight is usually operated on a 767-400. Unfortunately, I do not have any 400s, so I'm going to be using this 300 for the route. It's the closest thing I have, so there we go. Now next here, I have a very interesting flight. Now I know this is a CRJ 700, but for now, can you pretend that this is a CRJ 200? Because I saw this on Flight Radar 24 and I really wanted to include it. So as you know, Air Wisconsin leases the CRJ 200s to United and American. Now what I saw on Flight Radar 24 is a CRJ 200 painted in the American Eagle livery that was operating for United. So either it hadn't been painted or it was some kind of deal that they had. I wasn't aware of any deals or anything, so I'm still quite, you know, complexed about this situation. But I actually saw an American Eagle CRJ 200 operating for United Express. And he's going to be heading out to Harrisburg, so I'm going to say he's operating for United Express, even though it's a CRJ 700, but you know, it's the same kind of deal. Moving on to the United Express area now, we have this United Express ERJ 175. He's going to be heading out to Toronto. Next here we have another United Express ERJ 170. He's going to be heading out to Cincinnati. Next is just getting fueled up, we have another United Express Q200. He's going to be heading out to Louisville. Now for anybody who's new here, I did want to point out, I know the Q200s are retired. I just kind of use them to beef up my United Express size, because at the moment I only have 5 United Expresses including the Q200s. And for Dulles, that is not enough. So I just kind of use these to kind of beef up my numbers. But yeah, as I said, this is going to be heading out to Louisville. Then we have another United Express Q200. He's going to be heading out to Jacksonville. And then finally for this area, we have another United Express ERJ 170. He is going to be heading out to Knoxville. Starting off here at the international area, we have this Porter Q400. He's just getting fueled up, and then he's going to be heading out to Toronto Billy Bishop. And then just sat here getting some catering and some cargo on board, we have the biggest arrival of the morning. This is the Emirates A380. He's going to be heading out to Dubai a little later on today. Just sat next to him now, we have this Ethiopian 787-8. Now he's just arrived in from Dublin, because if you do not know, the Ethiopian flight from Addis Ababa to Dulles actually stops in Dublin on the way there, and then on the way back he just goes straight all the way back to Addis Ababa. Now, not Addis Ababa, yeah, Addis Ababa. Just at Abu Dhabi, I always, for some reason, I used to do this in my Edinburgh updates as well. I always used to get Addis Ababa and Abu Dhabi really mixed up in my brain. I don't know why. I know they're two different places. One's Ethiopian, one's Etihad, but I think I don't know what made me get so confused, but I just get so confused. But yeah, I do want to get the 777-200. That's what they primarily fly on this route, even though the 787 is good and it has come to Dulles several times before. The 777-200 is more realistic, so I do want to find one of them. But yeah, as I said, he's just getting some cleaning on board, and then he's going to be heading back out to Addis Ababa later on today. Next here we have the Alaska A320. Now he's just arrived in from Seattle and is going to be heading back out there. Now I know I do need a few more Alaskas because if you do not know, from Dulles, Alaska has 3 flights to Seattle, to San Francisco, and to Los Angeles. Now at the moment, of course, this is always changing, but at the moment all these 3 flights are all operated on A320s, and even though they're not all in at the same time, occasionally because of delays and whatnot, they sometimes are. So I would like to get another 2 A320s. I'm actually going to take the camera off of the tripod for a minute and just actually show you my situation with Alaska at the moment. Now up here, this is kind of where I have all of my grounded Maxes, of course, and then these are the broken aircraft. Now up here, as you can see, 2 Alaska aircraft. Why are these 2 Alaska aircraft broken, you may ask? Well, this one, the 737, as you can see, I don't know if it's just always been like this, but do you see kind of, I don't know, the wings kind of further, the left wing or the starboard wing, or is that port? I don't know. That wing is further back than that wing, and I want to figure out why, because I feel like it's, do you see that? I just feel like, sorry about the dust, but I feel like it's not always been like that, and I want to figure out why and try and fix it. Then this one, of course, the engine just came off. It's not a big deal, I can just glue it back on, but the split scimitar is actually broken, as you can see. So I thought, you know, this is kind of my excuse to get a second 737, because I do need one. So kind of Alaska is one of my high priorities at the moment, because I do want, as I said, another 737 to replace this, and then another 2 A320s. So I know the A319 was recently released. I might get one of them, but I would prefer 2 more A320s. But as I said, this one, he's going to be heading back out to Seattle, which is a flight I am going to be taking from Seattle to Dulles. It's an overnight flight, but I'm still kind of looking forward to that flight for some reason. Next day, just getting some catering on board, we have this Southwest 737-700. Now he arrived in last night from Denver, he overnighted, and now he's going to be heading back out to Denver. Now it's the morning. Next day we have a Copa Airlines 737-800, he's going to be heading out to Panama City. Delta 737, he's going to be heading out to Salt Lake City. Next day we have a Delta MD-90, he's just getting fueled up for a flight out to Atlanta. Next here we have an Air India 777-300, he's just arrived in from New Delhi and he's going to be heading back out there. And next we have the Lazy Boy, the South African A340. Now the reason I'm calling him a Lazy Boy is because literally this plane, if you do not know, he arrives in at 6 in the morning and he just sits there all day until 6 at night, and then he heads back out to Accra. So here we have a South African A340, he's going to be heading out to Accra, as I just said. Next here we have an American A321, he's just getting fueled up for a flight out to Los Angeles. And then finally for this concourse, just getting some cleaning on board, we have an American 737-800 in the One World livery, he's going to be heading out to Dallas-Fort Worth. Next day we have a United Airlines 777-200. Now he's been just towed over from the hangar area after getting some maintenance last night, and then he's going to be heading out to Tokyo later on. So he's just getting some cleaning on board and some cargo on board, and then he's going to be heading out to Tokyo. Next day, just arrived in from Sao Paulo, we have a 767-300. As I said, he's just arrived in from Sao Paulo, and he's actually getting turned around now, and then he's going to be heading out to Houston. Next here we have a United 737-900, he's going to be heading out to Denver. Then we have a United 737-800, he's just getting fuel on board, and then he's going to be heading out to Austin. United A320, he's going to be heading out to Windsor Locks. And then here we have a United 787-8, he's going to be heading out to San Francisco. United 737-900, he's going to be heading out to Orlando. United 737-700, he's going to be heading out to Nashville. United A320, he's going to be heading out to Seattle. And finally, a United 737-800, he's just getting fueled up for a flight out to Las Vegas. So that is it for this update of Washington Dulles International Airport. So yeah, as I said, this is the final video before I go to America. So of course on Monday I do fly out. Well, actually I arrive in Washington Dulles on the Tuesday, but I'm going to explain the first two flights to you now. As I said, if you do want to know all of my flights, all of the flight information, go over to my podcast that I did. That'll be linked at the end of the video. It'll be linked in the description. And also if you go back onto my channel homepage, you'll see off to the side it says Aviation 18 Extra. That's the channel. Again, Aviation 18 Extra is just a temporary name. I do want to find a much better name for it because Aviation 18 Extra isn't exactly that good of a name. Anyway, the first two flights I'll be taking are a Swiss A320 from London Heathrow to Zurich. That is on the 8th of July, and that is flight LX339. I believe that leaves at about, oh, when does that leave? I think it leaves at about 8ish, I think. It's around that time anyway. And then the second flight leaves at midday from Zurich. It is a United 787-8. Now it is a Swiss flight number just because I booked it through Swiss. That is LX3200. But yeah, just look for the United 787 that's leaving at midday. I believe there's only one flight a day to Zurich from Dulles on United. Anyway, I might be mistaken, but yeah, just look for that flight and I will be on it on the 9th of July. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to America incredibly, just being with family and trying to make videos and all of that kind of stuff, being around Dulles, eating Chick-fil-A. It's going to be great. So yeah, I can't wait for you guys to join me on that through the videos and different things I'll be making over there. As I said, I do still have airport updates pre-recorded for every Friday, so you will not go dry from airport updates. I'll still have them coming out, as well as my trip reports and other videos that will be coming out as well. But yeah, apart from that, there's not really much else to say. Again, don't leave any subscriber routes or suggested routes in the comments, because from now on there'll be pre-recorded updates. I will tell you when you can leave subscriber routes and suggested routes in the comments below in that video. But until then, please do not do that for the sake of every other commenter. And yes, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.